The attackers were a fearsome group of hulking warriors, their eyes burning with a savage fury. Their crude weapons sang with brutal efficiency, their muscular frames covered in makeshift armor, adorned with what must have been trophies from past conquests. Their guttural roars echoing through the night as they tore through what little defense the town could muster. Their leader, a towering figure, even among his own, directed his barbaric soldiers with ruthless precision. The sun had set on a peaceful little farming town, and is now greeted by smoke as it is rising over a village torn asunder and devastated by a fierce onslaught. Hello Glacial Gamers, and welcome to D&D Lore Bite-Sized. Here we will take a short dive into different monsters, races and other D&D related stuff. Today we will be looking at a strong, but often dumb, humanoid creature. Can you guess what it is? Imagine a creature with a porcine face, low forehead, tusk protruding from its lower jaw, wolf-like ears with a stooped posture and greyish skin. It is known for both a love and lust for battle. Led by their strongest and toughest warriors, they live in tribes like scavengers and nomads, always in reach for something to plunder, rarely settling down. Their tribes are known to work as effectively as the plague, leaving land abandoned and uninhabitable. Once in a while, a great warrior will rise in one of these tribes and unite them all under one flag and turn them into a rampaging horde. Any guesses? That's right, we're talking about the orc. So, what exactly is an orc? Well, it's a type of humanoid monster, specifically a savage and warlike creature that thrives in harsh environments, such as the Arctic, Underdark, grassland, mountains, close to you. These brutes are not known for their intelligence, but rather their strength and aggression. They are impatient, get offended easily, and will answer most things with violence. But they do have one thing going in their favor though. Because of their do, not think attitude, they are often very effective. Their society was built around the belief that they were the strongest race. This and every other point that formed Orcish society was egged on by the god Gruumsh and his Pantheon. Gruumsh, the mightiest of the Orc Pantheon, was known as the One-Eyed God, the Cursed One, he who never sleeps, and much more. His domain was tempest and war, and his symbol was an unblinking eye and a triangular eye with bony protrusions. Long ago, Gruumsh was late to a meeting of the gods, where they were splitting the world amongst themselves. Everywhere Gruumsh pointed and said he wanted the orcs to live was already taken. So, he declared an endless holy war against the other races, and has since driven his people to wage this endless war in the name of his divine wrath. But Gruumsh ain't the only orcish god. He is served by Bahgtru, the orc god of pure physical strength. He had so much of this pure strength that he was simply known as the Strong. Bahgtru's symbol was a broken thigh bone. Ilnavol, the orc god of strategic warfare. He was known as the War Maker and the Horde Leader. His symbol was an upright, blood-spattered sword. Lethik, mate of Gruumsh and goddess of caves. She's the patron of female orcs, healing and home. The first non-war god, because her domain is both life and nature. Her titles are the Cave Mother, Great Mother, the Blood Moon Witch. And her symbol is a cave bear and the orcish rune for cave entrance. Shargas, the orc god of the cold, the dark and the night, patron of orcish edgelords, as his titles really underlines. The Night Lord, the blade in the darkness, the stalker below. But jokes aside, This guy was the embodiment of what the orcs feared. Just chew on that one. Last, but not least, is the orcish god Urtrus, the god of death and disease. He was known as the Lord of Maggots, the Rotting One, and the White Hands. His symbol was a white hand, palm outward. Having at least 3 gods of war means that the orcs' history is written on red parchment. But do the orcs of D&D have real-world counterparts? Yes. In European folktales and fairy tales, like Beowulf, an orc was a creature close to a goblin or an ogre. Even though the word can be translated to something close to devil corpse or corpse from Orcus,
been a weird day
in Old English, and something close to devouring monster in Old Dutch. But enough of that. The modern usage of orc was brought to us by the great J.R.R. Tolkien, and from there you can find orcs in Warhammer, Warcraft, and of course Dungeons and Dragons. But enough of the real world, let's get back to the orcs. Orcs are a typical low-level to mid-level foe to put in front of your adventuring party. They come in on a challenge rating of 1/2, and that is just as impressive as their intelligence. Stats-wise, they are little heavy hitters with a 16 in strength, and they can even take a few punches with a 16 in constitution. On the other hand, they have a whopping 7 in intelligence. Everything else is around average. The ability aggressive is what I think make orcs really great foes. This ability makes the orc extremely mobile, because when used, the orc can move up to its speed towards an enemy it can see as a bonus action. This means that the orc can move up to 60 feet in one round. This is the most common orc. No, not the common orc, but the most normal orc, let's say. But there are others, more stronger versions of the orc. The orc war chief comes in on a challenge rating of 4. It has multi-attack, Gruumsh fury, and battle cry, along with normal orc stuff. There are several more different orc variations. Actually, each orc god has a special orc, except Bahgtru, because Yurtus needed 2. Typical Yurtus. They are Orc Blade of Ilneval, Orc Claw of Luthek, Orc Eye of Gruumsh, Orc Hand of Yurtus, Orc Nurtured One of Yurtus, and Orc Red Fang of Shargas. Check them out for yourself, they are really cool and unique. Or pester us enough and we might make a video on them. I really like the orcs of Dungeons and Dragons, and they are great for world building, as they work just as well as a threat to a small village, a medium-sized kingdom, or a great empire. But wait! There's even more! There are actually 9 different types of orc-related races. You got your most typical orcs, mountain orcs, which are the most common type, and the more civilized and less bestial, grey orcs. Then you got the Orogs, that are mountain orcs, but in the Underdark. Ooh. Ondantes are the hippie, pacifist, fey-natured orc of the bunch. Neo-orogs are magical hybrids between grey orcs, orogs, and other creatures. And now we get to the orcs that get down and nasty.
Oh, that's nasty.
Ogrillons are the love child of an ogre and an orc.
Oh, they're so nasty.
Boogins are the crossover between mountain orcs, and Quaggots, a vaguely bear-like humanoid creature from the Underdark.
Oh, that's nasty.
Tanarukk is the offspring of a half-fiend and an orc.
Oh, they're so nasty.
And last, but not least, Half-orc. That of course is half-human, half-orc.
Oh, that's nasty.
But can you play as these creatures? Well, of course you can. Usually either as a half-orc or just orc. And they go great as a barbarian or other melee-oriented classes. The playable orc has Adrenaline Rush, a bonus action dash that gives you temporary hit points. Powerful build that lets you carry stuff that count as one size larger than yourself, and relentless endurance, which makes you almost unkillable once every long rest. So, there you have it, adventurers, the Orc, a creature of immense strength, dark history and endless potential for your D&D campaigns. If you liked this video and want to watch more, please like and subscribe. There are links to several playlists in the description. Feel free to drop a comment and tell me what I missed.
Idiot.
Or if you have a suggestion to what we can cover next. Check out the rest of the channel. We have a D&D actual play podcast set in our homebrew world of Norgard. And we have a weekly D&D dad jokes. Stay rolling, and may your dice forever be frozen.